Notre Dame football continues to trend upward following their 14-win 2024 season, but questions and goals still remain. Let's talk about 3 coaches that I want to see step up in 2025 to take this program to even higher heights. Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports, breaking down everything Notre Dame football, getting you all ready for the spring practice period of this offseason. And before we know it, it will be the fall, and we'll be watching the 2025 college football season. And with the excitement around Notre Dame football, as always, you need some players and some coaches to take a step forward for the team to take that next jump in production and hopefully win a national championship in 2025. And I want to talk about 3 coaches that I believe aren't necessarily on the hot seat, but 3 coaches that I think if they take a step forward in 2025, this team could continue to be on the rise. I want to start with Mike Brown, wide receivers coach. Now, Coach Brown was given a tough task coming in after the debacle that Chancey Stuckey left, both from a talent perspective and both from a technical perspective. He need to iron out both things there. And so far, the coaching has been solid, I think. We saw some good things from Jaden Greathouse, obviously, down the stretch of the 2024 season amidst their playoff run. But the recruiting side has not been up to standard now. Now, I know we could say Chancey Stuckey left it in a bad place. Mike Brown had to pick up the pieces and figure it out moving forward. And all those things are very valid points of conversation in this one. But at the end of the day, the wide receiver position is one for Notre Dame that needs to get better. So however that is, whether that's from a talent acquisition perspective, whether that's unlocking the upside that is in the room with players like Cam Williams and Micah Gilbert and obviously Jaden Greathouse continuing to trend upward, Mike Brown is a coach that I have my eyes on this season and am hopeful that he takes the next big step forward. Defensive line, Coach Al Washington is next on my list. This one's going to be a little bit of an interesting one because he hasn't done a bad job at Notre Dame. I think he's done a pretty solid job overall. We saw the interior duo, obviously, of Riley Mills and Howard Cross be extremely productive the last 2 years. You've seen some good performances 2 years ago from Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Boubacar Traore, before he got hurt, was playing exceptional football. Jordan Botelho was playing good football. So the coaching on the field has mostly been good, but in the biggest moments, it has still left some to be desired. Obviously, the Ohio State game is the biggest example of this. Notre Dame's defensive line played hard, but they weren't able to get home and affect Will Howard enough in that game. And I know what you're saying. Hey, there were some injuries. And again, all those things are valid. But at the end of the day, you are at the University of Notre Dame. You need to recruit like you're at the University of Notre Dame. And recruiting under Al Washington has been very, very inconsistent. Mostly good on the edge, but interior defensive line recruiting has not been great so far during his tenure. So we need to get now production out of a new cast of characters in 2025. Will Boubacar Traore get healthy and make an impact on the season? Will Jordan Botelho be able to make an impact coming back from injury as well? Can you unlock talent of guys like Joshua Burnham in that room? Those questions remain. I'm hopeful that Coach Washington can answer them, but until he does, they are massive question marks. The last and most obvious one is Chris Ash, new defensive coordinator. Now he takes over for Al Golden, that left to take the same position with the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach Golden was fantastic during his tenure with Notre Dame, specifically his last 2 years of his 3-year tenure. Now, the good thing for Chris Ash, he walks into a really talented room. You have talent on all 3 levels, and I think that Notre Dame is still going to have a very good defense, potentially elite defense in 2025. But this is more of a long-term outlook, but also figures into 2025. Chris Ash has not really been around programs long enough to understand just long-term how good of a defensive coordinator he has been. He's had 10 jobs in the last 25 years, so he's only at each stop relatively about 2.5 years on average, right? So we need to see, can he evolve this room and this team? Because Al Golden, what he was able to set for this program is some big shoes to fill. I have confidence that it's going to look at least good in year one, but can 2025, then can they take that next step? It's going to be very dependent on how good of a defensive coordinator Chris Ash is. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. A to Z Sports for all your latest Notre Dame college football, NFL, and NFL draft info. And as always, folks, I'll catch you next time. Go Irish.